What's going on, guys? Unknown Player here, and today we've got an absolute ton of stuff to talk about for, of course, Destiny 2. I'm actually right now in America visiting Bungie, so thus the hotel room and the bad lighting, but there's so much to talk about. I want to get a video out for you guys. We have new trailers showing off things like the Queen of the Reef who is back, and even random things like machine guns, which are actually returning as weapons finally. We've got some random things like Cayde 6, who's actually vanished from the tower, a bunch of brand new exotics and even returning ones. And of course, Destiny 2 got its biggest update ever with a bunch of the stuff we were waiting for, and even some unexpected stuff that we weren't expecting, like Forsaken loot dropping early for some reason. So we've got a ton of stuff to get through obviously today in this video. If you enjoy it and want to support this channel, a like rating is much appreciated, and let's get into it. Not really sure where to begin this one because there is so much to cover, but I guess there's no better place than the story. Prince Uldren, the Queen, Petrovenge, the Spider, a bunch of stuff all relating to this entire campaign. So we do get some snippets of a bunch of cinematics, obviously not the full ones, so we don't really have full context of what's going on, but they look very cool. This one you can see is the Queen's throne room inside the reef with Uldren sat on the throne and a bunch of the barons there. I would imagine this is just after he kills Cayde 6 and after that very first prison break mission where he sets all these barons free, so he is now in charge of them. Something I did think was interesting though is when you, the Guardian, and also Petrovenge approach this character called the Spider, who is basically like a Kell, one of the last kind of most powerful fallen guys, and you ally of course with him to kind of take down Uldren. Something I did think was super interesting was Petra saying that she wants Uldren dead, and that's kind of her main goal, of course, which also lines up with the Spider and the Guardian. Everyone wants Uldren dead. It is definitely strange because Petra is, or I guess used to be, super loyal to the Queen of the Reef. She would do anything for the Queen. That was her main kind of objective, but now she's trying to kill Uldren, the Queen's brother. I don't know if Petra still thinks the Queen is dead, maybe that's why, but she is definitely completely against this whole family. Probably the biggest surprise of this trailer was the Guardian does speak for the first time in I think years, since literally vanilla Destiny 1. I don't think our Guardians have said any words. I guess it takes Cayde 6 dying for the Guardians to finally find their voice, but I would imagine this to be a thing going forward in future campaigns, and definitely Forsaken at least. I wouldn't expect crazy deep dialogue, probably just more one-liners like we can see in this trailer, but of course, as we know, the kind of voice acting for this game is difficult. You've got Awoken, Human, Exo, male and female, all of those, plus like a dozen different languages, so it's definitely very complicated. But yeah, Guardians are finally speaking for the first time, and I'm pretty sure years and years. We also, for the first time in years, get to see the Queen of the Reef. She is back, she is here. Marasov, or at least her arm, you can see is touching Uldren's shoulder. Obviously, it's not a surprise. We know she's in this DLC, we know she's going to return at some point, and we know she's alive, but it's just a matter of time and a matter of when Bungie reveal it. He's then burning down the Queen's throne room, which is pretty strange, not sure what's going on here, and then you can see it gets really dark and really weird. He goes to the Shard of the Traveler and somehow manages to take a piece of it and gets like corrupted. All these cutscenes do definitely seem very dark and very twisted and kind of creepy, so I'm really loving the kind of theme of these, but Uldren is doing some very weird stuff. So we can see the inventory of the Spider. Of course, he is an NPC. We can see his inventory of bounties. He's got other bounties as well, and material exchanges, which is cool. This was a thing for very few vendors back in like early Destiny 1, but I'm actually really glad it's back, and I'm hoping it's for more vendors. But you can see masterwork cores, legendary shards, glimmer, and then planetary materials for all the different planets. We also see how collecting lore is tied to one of the endgame features, which is called titles. So these are literally like name badges that appear under your gamer tag, and these are kind of very specific things which are very difficult to get apparently. They said there aren't many of these titles themselves, but of course they require a lot of effort, a lot of collecting, and for your completionists. So it seems the one for collecting all the lore is going to be called Chronicler. That is the title reward. Didn't know that is a word, but Chronicler, that is a thing. And then you can see it appears under his name. This is a pretty cool screen. You can see the title down there by his legs, also the Malfeasance exotic, and the Prison of Elders set from Destiny 1 returning, which is cool. But this is what it looks like. You can see his gamer tag is Roland BNG, and underneath it says Chronicler, so everyone can see this, and it's a really cool thing to have. Also something super random, but you guys are going to be really happy, but machine guns are back. They are officially returning, confirmed 100%. Here you can see a machine gun being loaded. I'm 99% sure these aren't going to be in Forsaken, but instead the future DLCs, the Penumbra, Joker's Wild, and Black Armory. Even in loads of interviews, Bungie did say no machine guns in Forsaken, but maybe in the future, so this is that future. And even the way this trailer kind of shows it, this isn't going to be in the DLC, but instead future kind of mini expansions. So Black Armory, which is the first mini DLC coming in December, I'm pretty sure that is when we're getting finally machine guns coming back. Also, we get a glimpse of Festival of the Lost, which is returning this year as an event, so this is what the tower looks like. I'm not sure who that purple hologram in the middle is supposed to be. The bald guy, it looks like Master Eyes, the Cryptarch from the Reef, but also kind of Zavala, but I'm not sure who it is. But on the topic of the mini DLCs, Bungie did give some small kind of details and small glimpses of what they're going to feature. So Black Armory sounds really cool. This is going to be about an elite group of people who created some of the most notorious weapons in the universe. We're going to get access to this vault full of Golden Age weapons. And there's also this kind of very dark Exo looking character. Joker's Wild coming in spring is unsurprisingly going to feature the backstory of the Drifter, so the main Gambit character, his purpose, his motives, and inside the big rock he carries around. And then Penumbra seems to be related to the Leviathan. Once again, we're going back there. That's of course going to be summer of next year, 2019, but you can see some new areas inside the Leviathan Callus theme that's much darker. Honestly, I really like the idea of going back there. I think the Leviathan is a great place, and of course, think by summer next year, it'll have been so long, it'll be nice to go back there, especially to new areas. Next up, we do have a bunch of exotics to look at. Some of these, of course, are seen before in trailers. We know what they do, their perks already, but some of them are actually brand new, and some of them are returning from Destiny 1, which is quite a surprise. Some of the most interesting ones is definitely the Chaperone exotic shotgun. This, of course, is Amanda Holiday's personal weapon, is Tex Mechanica, which could imply maybe the Last Word as well, because, of course, the same foundry. As we know, Tex Mechanica has quite a lot of weapons in D2, so Last Word maybe, of course, it would be hidden, I'd imagine, but that could be a surprise one later down the line. But either way, the Chaperone is returning. If you don't know, it fired slug rounds, so kind of one precision shot as opposed to a shotgun spread. This was very good in Crucible if you knew how to use it. I never used it myself much, but a very good weapon nonetheless. Also, the Lord of Wolves exotic shotgun, which doesn't have an icon, but you can see it right here, and the Queenbreaker's bow, which is now called the Queenbreaker. Both these weapons actually really love, so glad to see these back. Strangely enough, no love for the Dreg's Promise. I'm not sure if it's returning, but has been spotted so far. Another one we haven't seen too much of apart from a few trailers is the Wave Splitter. This is a Void Trace Rifle, so it completes the set, Prometheus Lens being Solar, Cold Heart being Arc, and also this thing is now the Void one. Of course, we are also getting another Solar one called the 1000 Voices. This one is going to be kind of Zol themed, or Amkara, or whatever it is. We've got others like the Cerberus +1, the Wish Ender, the Ace of Spades, and then other ones are seen quite a lot like the Trinity Ghoul, the Two-Tailed Fox, and the Black Talon. And of course, this is not all the exotics, going to be a bunch more like hidden ones, for example, like the Black Spindle, Quest exotics, and a bunch of others that aren't here right now. Now, of course, Destiny 2 also got its biggest update ever, which is update 2.0, which is literally the Forsaken update in one. I've already covered most of these patch notes in previous videos, and especially my last one where we looked at a bunch of them, but pretty much in a nutshell, everything does more damage and everything kills faster. So abilities, weapons, grenades, all that kind of stuff, they all do more damage, and the kill time in Crucible is dramatically quicker now. On top of that, as you probably noticed, a lot of the weapons have changed slots, so a bunch of the fusion rifles and shotguns are moved into secondary and primary slots. So of course, time to kill and weapon slot change are the two biggest things. Those are the main things to test out and kind of play with right now in the game. Also, on the official Bungie patch notes, it does say Cayde 6 has left the tower to investigate disturbances in the reef, so there he goes, I guess. Pretty sad because we know he's obviously not coming back, but that is it. Cayde 6 is gone, he is not in the tower, and he's about to die in the reef pretty much. On top of that, something that was actually added in the update but unintentionally is kind of a bug or mistake, is that Forsaken loot is now dropping in the world for kind of us before the DLC's out. I've seen a ton of you guys tweet me images of all kind of stuff you're getting. It's also got random rolls, so this armor and weapon's actually really interesting, but comment down below what you've got so far. If you don't know, you can get these by doing the Mars Flashpoint, so get that done, go speak to Anna Bray, who is the new Flashpoint vendor, turn the engram, you do have a chance of getting some new Forsaken loot. In terms of exotic buffs and nerfs, there are definitely a few here which they didn't mention last time, so these are actually pretty interesting. The Orpheus Rig exotic boots for the Hunter, I would probably give these the award for just best exotic in the game. I love these things so much. These are no longer going to grant super energy on bloom and damage sharing, so it's a little bit of a nerf in that sense. So it's going to be a little bit more difficult to chain tethers like really rapidly with a ton of enemies, and it's going to be more about the tethering itself as opposed to the explosions and the kind of chaining. On the other hand though, they did raise the amount you get from tethers to be more consistent, and also it scaled up for more powerful enemies, so that's kind of a buff in that sense. And it also works for Mobius Quiver, so it's going to get additional shots. The Knucklehead is going to enhance your radar while crouching, so basically more detailed. The Lucky Pants has got their duration extended, and Shinobi's Vow is going to return some energy when it damages an enemy. The Stag is now going to drop full duration rifts when you die, so that's going to be really interesting. And then the Eye of Another World, the Nezarec Sin, and Winter's Guile are basically getting more powerful and kind of more effective. For Titans, the Stand on the Side boot is going to have the Overshield appear a bit faster, and the Halla Fireheart is going to give you even more base cooldown reduction. The Crest of Alpha Lupi has a more effective healing pulse. The Peacekeepers have increased movement speed with an SMG, and the Worm God Crest Gauntlets have tuned damage duration per stat to be more consistent. We've also got daily heroic story missions, of course, as a playlist, this replacing the meditations. Wanted escapees from the Prison of Elders now roam the world, so these can be found anywhere in strikes and missions, patrols. These are very, very powerful enemies. They don't drop anything right now, but of course will in Forsaken. Heroic adventures have been added to all destinations, and also a random heroic adventure will be available each day. Heroic strikes, and also nightfalls have basically been retooled and kind of simplified a little bit more, and and also raids have the kind of death cooldown timer kind of simplified as well. So yeah, that is going to do it for today's video. As always, hope you enjoyed it. If you did and want to support the channel, a like rating is massively appreciated. Like I said, excuse the hotel room setup. Of course, I'm at Bungie right now, so do look out for some very cool content coming very soon. Make sure you are subscribed if you're not already. If you want to see a behind the scenes of what I'm getting up to out here, then follow my Instagram down below in the description. You can see my stories and images and stuff like that. And if you want to watch another video from myself, click this image on screen right now. But as always, I appreciate you guys for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.